Tonight, we're learning more about two Oklahoma men accused of performing illegal surgeries on a male victim's genitalia. We first told you about this story this week, but new documents now show the investigation is becoming even more bizarre. The two men are now accused of cannibalism. 5 News reporter Allie Lynch has the latest.
According to court records, a 28-year-old victim told hospital staffers Bobby Allen and Thomas Gates had surgically removed his testicles as he lay on a wooden table in their remote southern LeFlore County cabin. Allen and Gates were arrested when investigators say they went to visit the victim in the hospital. Newly filed court records show that the victim flew from Virginia after meeting Allen and Gates on a website that advertised castrations. In a strange twist, documents also show that the victim is now telling investigators one of the men claimed to be a cannibal. According to the affidavit, after the 2-hour procedure, the victim said Bobby Allen, quote, laughed and said that he was a cannibal, adding he had a freezer full of body parts. Sheriff's deputies searched the residence where they found bloody medical tools, a variety of drugs, and computer flash drives. In LeFlore County, covering news where you live, Allie Lynch, 5 News.
In addition to the illegal surgery charges, the men also face felony counts of battery with a dangerous weapon, maiming, assault, as well as misdemeanor charges of failing to bury the removed body parts.